Hey everyone, and welcome back to That Was History. I'm your host, Cliff Langston, and we've got a great fireside chat for you today, so don't go anywhere because you don't want to miss this. Before we get started today, I just want to thank everyone for joining us. As you can tell, we're doing a fireside chat today. As I mentioned before, we were kind of having a busy schedule this past week, and Jeremy and I were just finishing up our final exams for this semester in college, and I've got to tell you, it feels really great to be finished with all of this college stuff for this semester. But enough about me. You know why you're here. You're here for the history and the fun facts, and we've got plenty of it this episode. So without any further delay, we're going to get started, and we hope that you enjoy all the content we've got for you. We've got some really great stories. Our first story comes to you by way of the country of Hungary, and apparently on December 1st of 2011, get this now, a new law came into force in Hungary effectively outlawing homelessness. That's right, you couldn't be homeless in Hungary as of December 1st. The new regulation states that people who are found sleeping on the streets will receive a warning, and if they're found on the streets again, you can expect to be paying a $600 fine, or you could be imprisoned. The law is condemned by charities who say that it's unfair and it's probably unenforceable because there are not enough places for the homeless in shelters. So needless to say, if you're in Hungary, you'd better have a job or at least have enough to make ends meet. You know, it kind of makes you think about how great it is to have a roof over your head and money in your pocket. Second on our list happened in the United States on December 2nd of 1969. Apparently, this dealt with the Boeing company where the Boeing 747, often known as the Jumbo Jet, which is a long-haul, wide-body commercial airliner, received its FAA Airworthiness Certificate, which would eventually pave the way for its introduction into commercial service in 1970. Next on our list happened in South Africa on December 3rd of 1967. Apparently, on this day, this was when the first heart transplant was successful. Surgeons at the Groote Schuur Hospital in Cape Town, South Africa, led by Dr. Christian Barnard, performed the first human heart transplant. If you're one of the many people in the world that have a heart condition, then you can be really thankful for this because, obviously, transplants are now a viable option in a lot of cases for heart patients. This next story is kind of strange, but you've got to think for a moment. Think about all of the uniforms that you wear in a given day. Maybe you have a work uniform, or you're in the Boy Scouts, or you participated in the Boy Scouts at some point or another. You remember that they have that very distinct outfit that you have to wear. Well, get this. On December 4th of 1934, in Turkey, all uniforms were forbidden. Like I said, even Boy Scouts uniforms, but this also included things like Nazi uniforms or fascist black military attire. That I can understand. We don't need any more fascist or Nazi uniforms. But maybe this would be time to plug in a comment question for you. What is the weirdest uniform you've ever had to wear? And maybe you can send us a picture along with it, and we can upload it for everyone else to see your worst uniform that you've ever had to wear. We would love to hear from you guys, and we look forward to hearing your great stories and seeing your funny pictures of the uniforms that you've had to wear in the past. Moving into December 5th of 2008, this dealt with O.J. Simpson, and you've got to know who this is. He was accused of murder, and he was acquitted on this day for the well-known double murder in Los Angeles. And he was sentenced also on this day for 33 years in prison for robbing a pair of memorabilia dealers. Out of all the things he could have been accused for, it was robbing memorabilia rather than murder. Way to go, justice system. Next in our lineup happened in the United States and was on December 6th of 2007. This was the day that the CIA admitted to destroying interrogation tapes that they had filmed back in 2002 of them interrogating two Al-Qaeda operatives using effective interrogation techniques from that time period. This all took place in the middle of congressional and legal scrutiny about the agency's secret detention program. All I've got to say is that if it deals with the United States government and the CIA, I'm going to keep my nose out of it because I don't want to wind up missing anytime soon. Our last story is a very tragic and bittersweet ending to our show. December 7th of 1941 was the day that the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. This affected many countries as America would enter World War II, which would be a very costly war for them as well as many other nations. This attack was a surprise attack by the Japanese where they would use midget submarines, 350 bombers, and torpedo-carrying planes targeting warships, aircraft, and military installations on the American naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. This would also be the day that the Japanese would declare war on Britain and the United States. In total, this attack would destroy 2 battleships, 1 mine layer, and 2 destroyers with the loss of more than 2,300 U.S. servicemen, and after this, Franklin D. Roosevelt would mobilize his forces and declare war on Japan. The next day, when the president addressed Congress and the nation, he swore that America would never forget December 7th of 1941, as it was a day that would live in infamy. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. We hope that you enjoyed this fireside chat as much as we did making it for you. If you really enjoyed the content, we ask that you please subscribe to our channel and like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter if you enjoy doing that as well. Be sure to tell your friends and family and share us as much as you can. And on behalf of Jeremy and myself, we hope that you have a fabulous day and a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next Friday.